Good morning, everyone. So, in the last class, we were discussing the subspaces associated with matrices, and we introduced the concept of row space, column space, and null space. First, we'll see some questions based on row space and column space and null space, and then we'll talk about the rank and nullity of a matrix. So, consider a set S with 4 vectors v1, v2, v3, v4. You can see that it is a subset of R5. Find a basis for span S. So, to find the basis for span S, recall that we need to look for a linearly independent subset of S. But we want to use the concept of row space or column space. If we want to use the concept of row space, so in case of the row space, we know that row of A is same as row of RREF of A, which means we should write each vector as a row. So there would be 4 rows, compute its RREF, get the linearly independent rows, which means the rows with the pivot entries. They forms the basis for span S, because row A is equal to row of RREF of A. If you represent them as columns, you will get 4 columns. Again, the pivot columns would be there, that forms the linearly independent columns. But in this case, we know that column A is not equal to column RREF of A, which means that we need to look for the positions of pivot columns. For example, let's say first 2 columns are linearly independent in RREF, then we have to see the first 2 columns in the original matrix A. So to address this question, I prefer to write them as the rows. So if you write them as rows, 4 rows are there, 1, 2, 3, 4. So R1, R2, R3, R4. Next step is to compute its REF. REF is sufficient. You may not have to go to RREF. So if you compute RREF or REF, you can see that there are 3 pivot entries or 3 non-zero rows, which means that the 4th row is not contributing to the basis, and which means that these 3 rows, so I won't say, so let's say they are R1 dash, R2 dash and R3 dash. So it means that the basis for span S is R1 dash, R2 dash, R3 dash. I won't say that the basis for span S is R1, R2, R3, because we may have interchanged the positions of the rows. So to be on the safe side, it's better to write, since row A is equal to row RREF of A, therefore I can simply write the basis is these 3 vectors. Again, consider a set S. Find a basis for span S consisting all the vectors from S. So this is the difference between the question we just discussed and this question. In previous question, we just asked for the basis for span S. In this, we have asked that basis for span S consisting all the vectors from S. And therefore, the best choice is to represent each vector as column and compute the basis for column space of A. So if I represent them as columns, then there are 5 columns. Then I must compute REF or RREF. If you compute RREF, then you will see that there are 2 pivot entries. It means these 2 columns, C1 dash, C2 dash, are linearly independent, or better to say first column and second column are linearly independent, which also means that C1, C2 are linearly independent, and therefore C1, C2 forms a basis for span S. And considering C1, C2 means that we found a basis for span S consisting the vectors from S, because These are the vectors from S. So you can also say that V1, V2. So V1, V2 forms a basis for span S. So V1, V2 forms a basis for span S. Find a basis for null space of this matrix. So null space, recall that set of all those vectors for which Ax is equal to 0. These kind of the questions we have already done. So we need to solve a homogeneous system of the equation. To solve the homogeneous system of equation, we need to compute RREF. So RREF of this matrix is A, which means that if you write the equivalent system, so x1, x2, x3, x4, x5 is equal to 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. So x1 is equal to minus x2 minus 2x3 minus x4, and x2 is equal to minus x3 minus x4 minus 2x5. It means that the null space of A, x1 is minus x2 minus 2x3 minus x4, then minus x3 minus x4 minus 2x5, and x3, x4, x5, where x2, x3, x4, x5 are real numbers. So if you solve it, then null space of A comes out to be span S, where S is this. If set S is Li, then it forms a basis. If it is not Li, we look for Li subset. In this case, it is Li, which you can verify by yourself, and therefore it forms a basis for null space A. Rank and nullity of a matrix. So we have introduced the concept of rank initially also. So rank represents the number of non-zero rows in REF. The same concept remains here, but this time we are going to talk in terms of row space and column space. So the row space and column space of a matrix have the same dimension. Why they have the same dimension? Because row space also comes from the non-zero rows, which means all the rows having the pivot entries, and similarly the column space also corresponds to the pivot columns. So the pivot entry is equal in both the cases, and therefore they have the same dimension. And since they have the same dimension, we can define that the dimension of row space or column space of a matrix A is denoted as rank of A and denoted by rank A. Dimension of null space is denoted as nullity of A, and it is denoted by nullity A. For a matrix, rank A is equal to rank of A transpose. So it's simple, because if you get the A transpose, the number of the pivot entries remains same. Dimension theorem for matrices. So let A be a matrix with n columns, then rank A plus nullity A is equal to n. Similar kind of theorem we have already discussed. So what it is saying, that n represents n columns, but n also represents n variables. So number of the variables on the right hand side, and this represents number of nullity A comes from number of free variables, and this comes from number of dependent variables. So now we know that dependent means we can compute their value. So if the pivot entry is 1, you know that you can compute the value of that variable, and these are the free variables. So number of the dependent variables plus number of free variables gives you the total number of the variables. This theorem is important because if you can compute one of the rank A or nullity A, then you can compute the other using this formula. So for example, find the rank and nullity of this matrix. So to compute rank and nullity, I need to compute its REF. From there I will get the pivot entries. So REF if you compute, then you can see that these three are pivot entries, which means rank A is equal to 3. and now 4 columns are there, which means 4 variable. So nullity is equal to 4 minus 3, which is equal to 1. So this theorem we have discussed at the end of the chapter system of equation, but now we can elaborate it. So if A is invertible, then Ax equal to B has a unique solution because x is equal to A inverse B. In that case, homogeneous system has only trivial solution, because when you consider B is equal to 0, you will get x equal to 0. RREF is identity matrix, which means the determinant is non-zero, matrix is invertible. It means the column vectors are linearly independent in span Rn. So if they are linearly independent in span Rn, it means they forms the basis of Rn. Similarly, row vectors are linearly independent in span Rn, therefore forms the basis of Rn. And since the matrix is invertible, or RREF is In, which means n pivot entries are there, which means the rank is n. And from the rank nullity theorem we just discussed, the nullity is 0. So last two chapters were very important. We started with the vector space, then subspaces, then introduced basis and dimension, then talked about row space, column space, null space, and finally the rank and nullity of a matrix. In the next class, we will introduce the concept of matrix transformation, and from there on we will reach to the concept of linear transformation. Thank you very much.